Okay, so I'm wearing my Tony Stark shirt. My Tony Stark shirt. That's turns out the best shirt I could wear for this particular review. I'll be reviewing the first two episodes of Marvel Secret Invasion. Not Secret War. I kept thinking this was Secret War. Whole other thing Marvel did. Whole other thing. I waited this long to do Secret Invasion because I watched the first episode and it was a bit slow for me at first until second half. And like I said with She-Hulk, I don't really watch the Marvel shows. I only watch those She-Hulk and the Defenders. That's it. Now Secret Invasion because I'm hearing all these crazy ass rumors about who might show up or whatever. Also, Secret Invasion, that's like a big deal. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it. So I'll glance over episode 1 because that's not so much for me to talk about. And episode 2, which is the good shit. Now, important note, I've seen about this much Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've seen about this much Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., alright? As in the episode where Samuel L. Jackson actually guest starred. I saw that episode. I might have saw some of the Chloe Bennet episodes, but that's it. And I'm willing that she might come back. So my knowledge of Maria Hill and Nick Fury is from the movies. All right. So this opens with some crows talking, and I didn't think it was too interesting. That. And then Fury shows up, this big white light. He just walks through it like the badass he is, and the episode officially starts for me at least. In the title sequence, in this cast, Dermot Mulroney, Samuel L. Jackson, Kobe Smulders, kind of. I didn't know Christopher McDonald was in this show, or Eric Roberts, okay, or Amelia fucking Clark. Finally, Amelia Clark is part of a comic book series. It's not DC like we wanted. She's not Mirror. She's Marvel, which might be the better choice. And I read her comic book. Amelia Clark's comic book, that was wow. Anyway, so yeah, Nick Fury walks through, and the episode starts for me, and you see all these characters: Talos, Fury, Maria Hill. They're older, they're tired, they're beat to hell, and something's up with Fury especially. All of them got something going up, but Fury especially. And I was thinking, when was the last time we saw Fury in this kind of capacity? And it was the blip from Infinity War, which they show in this episode, where it's like, and he calls Captain Marvel. Yeah. This is where he returns. Officially. I believe. Because again, I don't watch every Marvel show or even every Marvel movie. So to my knowledge, this is his return since then. It's this Infinity War. And Captain Marvel came out after that, yes. As did Far From Home. Captain Marvel was a prequel, and Far From Home, that wasn't Fury, now was it? At least not for most of the movie. So this is the first, yeah. And that's the dress, too. That's the dress. And so, yeah. And so they're dealing with this, and the crows are doing shit. Like, they're taking over. And there's this camp they show us. Reminds me a lot of the movie District 9. Except the aliens are treated a whole hell of a lot better. Still kind of bad because they're treated good there. But also, this is where good crows get turned, I guess. Right? That's where we meet Amelia Clark, who I believe is a crow named Gaia, because she's obviously stronger than she looks. Like, she holds her own, has the strength. So, yeah. And from what I learned from her is, well, not too much. At least not till she's interacting with Talos, I believe. And he's like, he tells her about her mother, and her mother's final words and everything. And this kind of pacifies somewhat Amelia Clark, or Gaia. And she tells them information. And a bit like, she's like, I'm still doing this, but here's where it'll be at. Do what you gotta do, And this isn't Russia, by the way. You're talking about war and bombs in Russia, which is, like, I don't know when this was filmed, but I'm gonna go ahead and say before went down over there. I went down. But yeah, and so that, and one more highlight from the episode is where it officially picks up, right? Nick Fury and Emily Coleman, is that her name? People seem to really like her. I don't know who the hell that is, but I like her too now. That conversation between her and Samuel Jackson, that's where it picks up for me. That back and forth. Also, it is Samuel Jackson with like the cussing and swearing. That's where it really comes in, right? I mean, he got the word motherfucker in episode 1 of The Phantom Menace. I mean, do it here. So they're going back and forth. And he wants her help. She's like, why? Like, she doesn't know anything and everything. And Fury's like, I might not be able to tell who is and isn't a crow, but I know damn well when a human is lying. Right? And that's basically it. That's what really opened my eyes. And then another highlight is the scene with him and Maria Hill at the bar, where he buys a whole round for everyone in there. At first they're hostile, but then they're like, all right, you good. And they have a conversation. And he's like, yeah, how do you think we kept the Cold War from getting hot? Spooks like me buying rounds for the enemy. And it's just like, you can't say that. He's like, no, you can't say that. And they have a conversation where Rhea Hill's kind of vulnerable. She's usually this badass, right? But she's more like worried about Fury. And because they're playing chess, she's like, she's usually 3 steps ahead. Sorry, my shirt has a smell because I wore it in a while and I have asthma. But yeah, and she's like, you're always 3 steps ahead. And Fury, and she asks him, are you going to make a move while they're playing chess? And he's like, I don't know yet. As we start the conversation. And she's like, should you really be doing this if you're not fully in it? Not the Fury we once had. Like, a lot's changed since you've been away, which has been a theme here. And he's like, and they have a good conversation. That is that. And the next highlight for me for the pilot called Resurrection was the ending. Hell breaks loose in Russia, bombs and everything. Crows are murdering people, and you see Nick Fury, and he shoots Maria Hill. Then does an evil smile. Then the actual Nick Fury shows up, and it's revealed the other one's a crow. And they cut out to a wide shot of Maria Hill bleeding out. And first thing I thought was, is this Agent Coulson all over again? Or is it Gamora all over again? Murder a big character and then bring him back. Then episode Then episode 2 happens, right? And we'll circle back to Maria Hill, because they actually answer my question, kind of. Episode 2, from the get-go, this episode is awesome, okay? So, episode 2 entitled, what is it called? Promises. And it opens on a train, right? Nick Fury's talking to Talos. Oh, I forgot. There was one more highlight in episode 1. I've never been a fan of the Crows or Talos, for that matter. But I did mark out when he had that fight with the evil Crow. It's like, my name is Talos, and he fucks him up. And Fury's like, you need help? He's like, no. It's like, he's trying to get his ass whooped. And Fury's like, you sure? It's like, I got it. And then Fury saves him. For a brief moment, I was liking Talos. I was. Anyway, episode 2. So Fury and Talos are on the subway, a train. And Fury's like, I used to play this game with my mother on the train. Tell me something I don't know. And he tells a story about how his mother was like, tell me something I don't know about this girl that Fury was with. And he was like, and he made something up. And because he wasn't going to tell his mother that he was doing stuff with this girl. Right? The point is, that's how, and his mother smiled, and that's how she knew the kind of person he was. That's how he knew. Anyway, and Fury's like, let's play a few rounds. And Talos is like, okay. And this, my goodness, wow. Fury's like, tell me something I don't know about why you came here. And that whole conversation is about, it's like, you know everything. It's like, but the name of the game is Tell Me Something I Don't Know. And Talos explains that his people ran from his planet. They got chased off by the Kree, which sounds familiar to me. I'm looking that up. The Kree. That's Kree, not Cree, like summer. The Kree. Let's see here. Because that sounds super familiar. The Kree, the rule, are scientifically, technologically advanced. Oh, okay. So the Kree are what Captain Marvel are. That's why I sound familiar. Something like that. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So they're chased away by the Kree, and they came here. And Fury's like, "How many?" And Talos is like, "All of them." And Fury goes off. He's like, "What?" And my favorite line in this whole one of my favorite lines in the whole episode. Talos is like, "We just want to coexist with the humans," and Fury says this beautiful line: "Humans can't coexist with each other. Since we've been able to walk upright, we've been at war with each other. There's not enough room or tolerance for a completely new race on this planet." I'm like, shit, he's right. Like, if E.T. was real, it would probably be like that. Like, yeah. Like, wow. And then he goes off again. He's like, his Talos was lying the whole time. But Talos, he fires back and is like, "But you left. You blipped away." Like, you could have told him before he blipped, is his point. But yeah, and so Fury kicks Talos off the train, which, by the way, opens up with a beautiful blonde woman being asked if she's seen Fury. And she looks at the picture and is like, "A black man out here in where we are, you're more likely to see aliens." And that was Talos shape-shifting. That's a theme here in this episode, by the way. But yeah. So Talos leaves again as a blonde woman. And we don't see him again the whole episode. Crazy. After this, we are taken to Nick Fury talking to Maria Hill's mother. We circle back. And I'm like, do I buy that she's really got her murdered off? But then he's talking to her mother, and it's a real conversation. He's apologizing to her, and she's just like, "She believed in you. We believed in you. She would have followed you to hell and back." Like, and he keeps apologizing, and she's like, "Oh, the reason I'm taking my daughter back in the box." I'm like, damn, maybe she's really gone. Maybe. Like, I don't know. I still hesitate to buy it, but that was pretty damn convincing. After that, we're taken to not Tony Stark or Stark Industries, but to War Machine, Rhodey. He's testifying in some court place, and he says, "They roll their eyes again. I'll take the suit out and just suit on." I'm like, hell yeah, you know. And so we go from there to a scene with him and Fury having a conversation. That stuck us back to what I said at the beginning of the episode with the whole black man and wherever we are. Yeah. So they have a conversation, and Fury is trying hard to recruit, like not really recruit, but to talk Brody into helping him, and Rhodes and helping him, Rhodey, damn it, helping him. And Rhodes is like, "Nah, things don't change, Fury." Like, nah. And that whole conversation, what they were talking about how people like us, it's not easy for us to get in jobs. It's still not really, like, how it was never easy for us to get in jobs, or especially power and everything, and that is true. And wow, that conversation. And Fury tries so hard to use the culture to try to change Rhodey, but it doesn't work. Throws right back at him. I was like, "Sorry, brother. But that shit you pulled in Russia, they got one of our best agents murdered. That's why this is happening to you. You're fired." And he fires Fury. And I did a terrible job of summarizing that conversation. So watch it. It's that damn good. You know, that's why I asked him whether or not Rhodey is a Skrull. He's acting not the same, but enough like him. Like in Spider-Man, again, Far From Home, that wasn't Fury, that was a Skrull. And it becomes obvious that something's up with Fury, and at the end it's revealed, yeah, that was a Skrull the whole time. So maybe it's some of those things, I don't know. But wow, that conversation. And then after that, we see Fury kind of break down. We don't know if it's over him getting fired or over Maria Hill, but that's a rare sight, and it kind of hits you. And then, Amelia Clark's running on the episode, really just eavesdropping on conversations. Like there's this one behind, I gather it's the United Nations of Skrulls. Like each Skrull is a different race, different like from different parts of the world, everything. And having a conversation about what to do. And one of them, I fucking called it. I said Christopher McDonald because he showed up on the TV. It's one of those people, one of those political people who's like, no way an American was responsible for what down in Russia. One of those kind of people in Russia. One of those kind of people, political people. And I said, the second I saw him, he's never the good dude. He's never the hero. And I'm right, he was played a Skrull. So yeah. Also, Dermot Mulroney is the president in this universe, and that is awesome. I loved him in Scream 4 for the most part. I mean, he's good here, so yeah. And so that whole conversation is about what they're gonna do and everything. So yeah, it's about Skrulls like becoming empowered, powering up, if you will, because of some kind of, I don't know, formula. Oh, and you see Emily, what's her name, Coleman, torturing a Skrull by injecting him with some shit that turns him red and has him screaming in pain. So she can interrogate him. She gets her information, she leaves, and then other Skrulls show up to rescue him, only to shoot him in the head. And they built it up too. You knew what was happening. Trying to make it all sad, like you knew what was up. So yeah. The episode ends finally with the weirdest thing. Nick Fury. I don't know if it's him or Skrull Nick Fury, but Nick Fury coming home. And you get a shot of the Skrull woman cutting carrots. And you see a wedding ring, and Nick Fury shows up. And she's like, in human form now, a black woman. And she's like, aren't you forgetting something? And he's like, and he gets his wedding ring, makes a show of putting it on his finger. And then they kiss to Otis Redding. It's a perfect song, too. I'm like, what now? If this is actual Fury, he's married to a Skrull. This is rather interesting. Maybe a major conflict of interest. I don't know. But yeah. So that is all I have to say about the episodes. The episode 2 really picked up. It's definitely one of those shows where you power through the pilot. Like, wow. A lot of shit's happening. And it basically has my interest. So, just like I did with Chucky and She-Hulk, every week I'm going to review Secret Invasion. That is all I have. Thank you for watching.